AOC, my favorite big booty Latina. I love you, AOC. You're my favorite. She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Now that was a clip of online comedian Alex Stein asking sitting Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez if she is in fact a big booty Latina. Now for perhaps obvious reasons, this video kind of blew up a little bit, right? And now look, I'm not the one to charge into political debates. However, I think this debate kind of transcends politics. Check this out. I've seen a lot of people go ahead and actually defend Alex Stein, saying his actions were justified or they were, for this, that, or the other, there's reasons why this was an okay thing to do. And like, I hate to disappoint some of you folks here, but I flatly disagree. I honestly think some of these people that are saying this are being, just to be honest, unfair. And I think they're being a little hypocritical. Not that it particularly matters, but fuck it. If these people are going to spout off their stupid opinions on Twitter and YouTube, I'll do it the same, all right? It's my God-given right, isn't it? And I want to be clear here, folks. I'm not saying like, oh, Alex Stein should be thrown in jail or the Capitol Police should arrest him. No, I'm just simply saying Alex Stein's kind of an asshole, and he just mildly harassed her. That's really all I'm trying to say here, and I think I can make my case pretty plainly for you folks. Now, before we get into it, there's two things you got to know about me. Thing one, I am no fan of AOC. That's probably not a shocker considering how crude and edgy I am. I'm definitely a bit of an anti-censorship, free speech kind of guy. You can kind of guess where the rest falls there afterwards. But here's the thing, even if I was a democratic socialist or even leaned more left, I don't think I'd be a particularly big fan of her. She unfortunately seems much more concerned about elevating her star power than she does actually affecting change for the people who rely upon her. She's got a whole district of people that are starving for change, who've honestly been left behind by the system, and instead she finds it more pertinent to play Among Us with Pokemon. And look, I get it, outreach is important, but maybe we should galvanize some of that outreach into political capital. Let's be honest, she's not even had a particularly profound effect upon her own party, let alone the political system. And yes, I do get she's but a simple congresswoman, but come on. Here's the thing though. I think you probably guessed I didn't like AOC. But the second thing I want to tell you is, well, I don't find Alex Stein funny. I've never found Alex Stein funny. In fact, let me tell you a little secret. If you don't find Alex Stein funny, I guarantee you find him aggressively annoying. You find him insipid. He is intolerable. I cannot fucking stand him. I'm not kidding. This is not me like putting on a joke. No. I hate watching his content. It's funny. I don't usually have such an allergic reaction to somebody. I don't know if it's maybe his misery-inducing voice, that shit-eating grin he has on his face, or if maybe just the desperation that reeks off his content. Alex Stein is just the guy that'll do and say anything for views. I'll say anything. I look at a lot of his content, and I know a lot of people love it, so I do get that this is subjective, okay? But I look at a lot of his stuff, and it's so unwitty. It's so stupid. It's so just, let me make an ass of myself for no poignant reason. I don't find intelligence to what he does. I don't even find that creativity to what he does. His whole shtick of, what was it? Where you go in front of those committees, mayoral offices and whatnot, and make an ass of himself. I never found that shit funny. I had the same expression that a lot of those people at those committees had. They're just kind of bored, like, oh, I have to put up with this. That's not funny. And unfortunately, I didn't find it particularly insightful or intelligent commentary. It was just him flailing around for attention. That's what I honestly thought these were. And of course, it got success, so he did it again, and he did it again, and he did it again. And I think it started to wear down a little bit, where even most people, I think, would kind of come to my opinion here that, it's getting a bit tired, right? Maybe it's even aged like milk, some might say. I personally would not say that. I actually have a different phrase for it. I would say it's aged like piss. It did not age very well, but it wasn't even good when it came out. I freely and openly admit, I do not like Alex Stein's content. I'm sure he's a fine guy. And look, if you like his content, if you think he's funny, if you maybe met him in real life and he signed your fucking baseball cap, that's great. I don't have any qualms with you. It's okay. Once again, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I want to simply be open and honest about my bias. I want to sit here before God and country and lay my bias down at your feet in hopes that you do the same in kind. Because let's be honest, if you do like his content, you do like his work, and you like his politics and whatnot, you're probably more apt to excuse things he does. And that takes us to what happened a few days ago. Now, you've seen the clip.
Favorite big booty Latina.
Look, on the outside, at just the pure surface level, the dude basically catcalled her, right?
Look at that booty.
Now, I'm not some big anti-catcall person. I think it's pretty scummy. I don't like it. And by the way, anyone that doesn't think this is catcalling, he's unsolicitedly sexualizing her, getting her attention. She didn't ask for these advances. They are sexual in nature.
Look at that booty.
I think just on its surface, it's a catcall. Now, I've seen some people make this argument, all right? This is the big one. Well, Nez, AOC is okay with kind of public displays of harassment to kind of get her way, right? So if she's okay with this, then who cares if it happens to her? Great question. Except it's not. I apologize, folks, but if your argument can essentially boil down to, she started it, you don't have a great argument, okay? But no, I don't like that. That's not a good fucking argument. I mean, pardon me, but aren't we supposed to hold our friends to a higher standard than our enemies? Hello? You know, two wrongs don't make a right here, folks. I can understand why if this happened to her, you wouldn't feel sympathy for her, but to then defend the person who did it, that's a stretch beyond. That's a separate action. Let me put it like this. If someone doxes people and they get doxed, well, look, I don't feel bad for them at all for getting doxed, but that doesn't mean I automatically go and defend and agree with the person who doxed them. But here's the thing, I can go deeper. The argument still doesn't hold up if we put even extra scrutiny behind it. Let's do a little due diligence here, okay, folks? When people say she's okay with harassing people publicly, and do pardon me, I might be wrong about this, all right? I freely admit this. But the times I can think of in the past where AOC has made these kind of displays and called for the public to do something like this, to come out and whatnot, have always been political in nature. You know, they've been distinctly and uniquely political, actually. I think of the time where she picketed fucking Pelosi's office, right, to get the Green New Deal passed or whatnot, right? Whether or not you think that this action is reckless or dangerous or based and cool, whatever the fuck you think it is, it's political. It's to affect political change. Even if you think what she's fighting for is dumb, there's at least a political reason behind it. It makes sense. So there's at least more of I'll be honest, a nobility behind it. Ugh. I know. People are really going to call me a simp for that one, I think. But once again, must stress, not a fan of AOC at all. Can't stand her. And so I look at it and I compare it to what Alex Stein did, and there's fucking nothing political about it. Oh, well, Nesquik, she's a politician and he's a political comedian. I don't give a fuck about that. That doesn't matter. What they said, the exchange between the two of them was not political.
Look at that booty.
Both people were political figures, but that does not mean what they did was inherently political. And don't give me this bullshit that like, oh, AOC, do you have a big booty? Don't fucking lie to me and pretend that's political. Like, excuse me, did I miss something? Is Middle America really sitting here contemplating at the kitchen table? Wow, do you guys think that AOC has dimples above her ass? Like, like get over yourself. That's fucking bullshit, okay? So to me, this was not political, and the reason why it was done is pretty fucking obvious. Attention. Alex Stein wanted views. Alex Stein realized his whole shtick of throwing a shit fit in front of some poor fucking homeowners committee or whatever was not really getting the job done anymore, so he needed to up his game. And once again, don't give me this bullshit that he was making some kind of witty point. Bullshit. He was asking her if she had a big booty because he knew that would get a rise out of her. Don't fucking lie to me, okay? Actually, you can lie to me all you want. Just don't lie to yourself, okay? This was not political. And I'm sorry, but the excuse that it was a joke is not a fucking good enough excuse for me. That's still, well, you still fucking bothered her and sexualized her on the streets unsolicitedly. There's a word for that. It's just called harassing her. Once again, it's not the end of the world. It's not like, oh, he's a terrible person for life, but it's just like, he's kind of an asshole. He just didn't really give a fuck and was more in it for himself than he was others. I do want to address something else I've seen here too, where people are like, well, he was a comedian, obviously doing a bit. How was she supposed to know that? Do you think that AOC knew, before this anyways, who Alex Stein was? I wouldn't put money on it. And like, oh, well, he had a camera there. So? Some yahoo walks up to you in a camera, starts asking if you have a big booty. You're not supposed to feel threatened by that? That's supposed to be like, oh, that makes things better? Like, oh, it's a camera there, guys. Oh, no. That makes me more afraid, I'll be honest. Some fucker with a camera, he's got an audience to please. He's trying to get a rise out of me. He's trying to fucking start shit. You know, nobody films something if nothing's going to happen. You only pull out the cameras when the shit's about to go down. World star hip-hop style, you know what I'm saying? Now, look, I want to be clear here. I don't think he was imposing or threatening her. He didn't even actually move towards her. It's not like, oh, this is him like intimidating her, you know, or anything like that. No, it's just him being an asshole. That's really what I want to break down here, folks. End of the day, Alex Stein is just an attention whore. Now, maybe for those of you that are unconvinced, I want to make one final appeal to you because I think this will speak loudest, okay? It's the old game of shoes on the other foot. Let's say some fucking mouth breather, like Hassan or Vosh or Destiny or Xanderthal, had got it in their little heads that they wanted to go do a very similar thing to someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Laura Boebert, right? Is that how you pronounce her name? Boebert? I don't fucking care. Anyways, what if they'd been on Capitol Hill, and as she was walking up the stairs, they're like, damn, didn't realize a white girl could have an ass like that. Holy shit! Could you imagine the shitstorm that would erupt after this? People would be like, oh, this isn't political. He's just harassing her for no reason. He's just harassing her for attention. This is terrible. He's not respecting women. He's a fucking loser. Right? Are you honestly telling me you couldn't see the Elijah Schaffer tweet with the most predictable, oh, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah thing, or the quartering thumbnail with the fucking big explosions and the, not okay written in bold letters, where the fuck it is, right? I could see them now. I can envision them now, dude. let's not kid each other. If this happened to someone on the right wing, everyone would fucking lockstep and say, this isn't okay. And here's the thing, you'd be right to do it. I really do think so. Simultaneously, in that same vein, I still think it's then worthy to criticize Mr. Stein. I have one last point I want to make. I know I said the H word, hypocrisy and hypocrite, right? And I do stand by that. I do think people who've spoken out against catcalling or political harassment in the past, frankly, it doesn't make any sense that they'd be willing to excuse what Mr. Stein did here, at least in my opinion anyways. But I want to make one point clear. I do get it. Like, I'll be honest. If I was a fan of Alex Stein, if I actually found his ass funny, I'd probably be right up there with you guys defending him, or at least not giving a shit. I'll be honest. I'm no better than you folks, probably actually significantly worse. I just happen to be on this side of the issue for this one time, What I seek to point out is this. You guys, in my opinion, are being, let's say, inconsistent, because you're trying to protect your friend. You're trying to show a little fucking loyalty to your boy. You're trying to look out for him. He's had a show canceled. He's getting a lot of shit on social media. You want to make sure you support him. And I'll be honest, if there's any reason to be a hypocrite for, defending your friend is probably one of the best ones out there. So, there you go. That's my 2 cents on the matter, folks. And I guess I'll say this. This is not very important. Like, I know I made a video about it, but no one's going to give a shit about this in 2 weeks. This is going to be a funny passing memory. And if anyone does still disagree with me and say, no, I think this is okay, I'm not going to hold it against you. I don't hold it against the people that I think are being mildly hypocritical. This is such a tiny thing, right? So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.